Take a look at that. Titan HD radar. Very, very busy this afternoon. Lots of rain out there on the roadways, so take it easy out there. Also, snow dropping. Snow levels are dropping, so keep that in mind as well. Live pictures for you right now. Looks like the roads are wet out there, so keep that in mind. Dave's going to have your forecast in just a bit. Tony?
All right, Christina. The family of a Seahawks fan, Seattle Seahawks, who died right after the Super Bowl, they're getting some heat for his obituary. In it, they wrote, quote, "We blame the Seahawks' lousy play call for Mike's untimely death." The obituary for Michael Vedvik appeared in a Spokane paper yesterday. Family says he would have enjoyed the dig, even though he didn't ever get to see the game. He had taped it and was going to watch it later, but he died of a heart attack on Super Bowl Sunday. And I was reading more about this, and they said he really would have laughed at it. So.
Yeah, they seem to think he had a great sense of humor.
And like Pete Carroll needs that hanging over his head right now.
They can pay for the funeral.
Oh, boy. Tony, thanks. Well, if you're a curvy girl out there, you've probably been told too many times while shopping that they do not carry your size.
But not to worry. Elsa Ramon introduces us to some fashion-savvy shop owners in Southern California who are offering new options.
Plus-size stylist and fashion blogger Rhea Norman insists it's time for curvy girls to show more skin and forget the rules about covering up larger hips and arms.
Why can't a plus-size girl wear a jumpsuit? What I always say is it's not necessarily if you can wear a trend, but how you wear it and what you pair it with.
Rhea is a fan of City Chic, a new plus-size store with 6 Southern California locations. She says City Chic gets high marks for form-fitting silhouette dresses and pencil skirts. She also loves their cropped jackets, kimono belts, and corsets.
This goes up to a 44G.
When it comes to wedding gown shopping,
It's very discouraging as a bride to go into a store and feel instantly defeated by not being able to put any of the dresses on.
That's because most bridal gown samples are a size 6 or 8, too small for the plus-size girl to really get an idea of what she likes. But not at Della Curva, a new bridal boutique in Tarzana.
So you carry sizes 16 to 32, is that correct?
Exactly right. Of all different designers, over 140 dresses.
Della Curva is a plus-size bride's fairy tale come true.
Look at that, that is gorgeous.
That is Fantasy Cinderella.
Sarah Viola is Della Curva's wedding dress whisperer, zeroing in on a bride's curves, coloring, and charm before pulling samples from endless racks of dresses. And then she customizes the gown with special embellishments for the bride-to-be.
Gorgeous.
Rhea says now is the time for fashion designers to focus more on the curvier woman.
We want it to be just as fashionable, just as on trend, and just as beautifully made as what they're selling for their straight size customers.
And if you're looking for ideas, Rhea says plus-size fashion inspiration is all over social media. Rhea's last bit of curvy girl advice? Confidence. It's your best accessory.
Seeing someone who walks in a room and makes no apologies for who she is, no matter what her size is.
Well, if you're interested in reading Rhea Norman's blog, we've posted a link on our website, CBS13.com. Looks like 2014 was the year of the man purse. The trend hit a new high last year with more men carrying purses across the country. Experts say the trend will continue in coming years. According to MarketWatch, men's handbags were the fastest growing segment within the men's bag industry. Unit sales jumped 47% last year, bringing in $238 million. Tony?
Your birthday's coming up soon, right, Sam?
That's right. Looking forward to that.
What color
Thank
do you want?
Thank you.
Attention die-hard craft beer fans, Budweiser isn't for you. What? Well, that's the message the company is giving in its new campaign. After several years of losing ground to the growing craft beer movement, Anheuser-Busch seems to be conceding a bit. The company is now aiming its latest marketing at its core customers, people who wouldn't likely reach for a craft beer. In the past, the beer maker has tried to compete with other brewers. Okay, if you're going to go see the film 50 Shades of Grey, leave your props at home. You heard right. A spokesperson for AMC Theaters told Mashable they welcome guests who show their excitement for a film by dressing in costume. You know, when Star Wars comes out, you dress as Darth Vader or something. But ropes, whips, ties, and other props are not allowed for 50 Shades. The movie will be released on February 13th.
Now on the CBS 13 News at 5. Keeping our eye on the storm. The first wave of wet weather has arrived, bringing strong winds, heavy rains, lightning, and even snow to our region.
The storm has already knocked out power in some places and downed trees.
But I was in total shock.
And even dangerous driving conditions, and the relentless rain is not expected to let up anytime soon.
And we have live team coverage for you on this storm. Good evening, I'm Sam Shane.
And I'm Christina Anderson. James is live out there on the roads for us. Derek is live in the valley, and Sam is in the Weather Center with Dave. But to begin tonight, we want to give you a closer look at exactly what's happening outside for you right now. Let's take a look first at downtown Sacramento. You see our lens is a little wet there. The camera's bouncing just a bit. Pretty clear over the horizon, but you can see the clouds off into the distance. Sacramento International, this camera's been bouncing around like crazy this afternoon. Lots of wind out there as well. So keep that in mind. Walnut Grove just looking dark overhead. Lots of clouds in that area. We come back up here to West Sacramento. You see a lot of haze. The cityscape itself kind of obscured by all the clouds and fog out there at this hour. Stockton looking pretty good right now, although you do see the cloud cover overhead. The camera bouncing just a bit from the wind out there. Bald Mountain, very windy. Lots of wind out there. You see the trees moving around in this area. Also the rain on the lens. So busy times. You see Sacramento, Vacaville, Mount Oso. Everybody's seeing the weather right now as we speak. So it's been a very busy day out there. Sam is with Dave in the Weather Center with more on where the storm sits right now. Sam?
All right, thanks, Christina. We're going to get you more pictures out there live in just a minute, but let's get to some of the totals so far.
Now, remember, this is as of now, but we are seeing the rainfall totals increase as we go on through the afternoon. And, of course, this evening we'll see additional amounts of rain. So it's all welcome. Right now, Placerville at 0.30. Sacramento, this is out at Executive Airport, 0.59. Vacaville, 0.72, and almost 2 3/4 inches around Canocti. The other story, of course, will be the wind. We do have a wind advisory for the Delta, the Valley, the foothills, and the west slope of the Sierra. At the highest of elevations, we'll have a wind warning up there, high wind warning for the crest and around the Tahoe area. Could see some ridgetop gusts at around 125 miles per hour. Already here in the valley, seen wind gusts in excess of 40 miles per hour. Another band of rain is working from the Bay Area on toward our neck of the woods, and also in the higher elevations. This just happened. Snow levels have dropped quite a bit. Above 6,000 feet, we're going to deal with this, and we weren't expecting to have to issue one of these. A winter weather advisory goes until 10 p.m. tonight. We're going to see some snow up there, and of course down here in the valley, anything below this coming down in the form of rain, and those reservoirs are going to gather it up. It's all good news. Just be really careful on the roadways because you could find ponded areas of water. Christina?
Good advice as always, Dave. Thank you. Now, lightning strikes were also spotted in several spots today. You see that one cutting across the monitor here. That one caught by one of our photographers this morning, Dave Grasshoff. Now, the strikes resulted in power outages out there, a lot of inconvenience, and they certainly lit up the sky. CBS 13's Derek Shore is live in Midtown with the warning and the pictures tonight. Derek?
That's right, Christina. We did see some potentially dangerous lightning and a lot more rain since the last time we saw you at 4 o'clock. Take a look at the rain falling right now, and you can see big droplets hitting these puddles. But as you mentioned, as that water falling to our feet, a lot of people were looking up to the sky, at least earlier today, to see all that lightning. If you were anywhere in Sacramento today, you likely heard the roaring thunder. Our photographers and our viewers provided us with examples of the lightning many saw today.
There was a nice little cluster of almost 14 lightning strikes just south of Sacramento.
The lightning to blame for a number of power outages across the region, leaving more than 1,000 out of power at different times today. But it wasn't just homes and businesses inconvenienced.
I've seen lightning all day since 7 o'clock this morning. It's been pretty loud out here.
Andrew Alfaro, one of many left waiting after a lightning strike interrupted power to part of the light rail's blue line.
We're all cold and shivering here in the rain here, so hopefully they get here soon and get us out of here and on our way.
According to weather experts, today's storm was a good mix of moisture and instability in the atmosphere. It comes with a reminder lightning can be beautiful but deadly. Stay away from metal, get in a car, or better yet.
One of the sayings we like to share with people from the National Weather Service is if thunder roars, go indoors. Because really, whenever we have thunderstorms about, you don't want to be out in the open.
And according to weather experts, the other thing you don't want to be under is a tree. Even though that may seem kind of counter intuitive, you do not want to be under a tree because trees get struck by lightning all the time, and then that tree would fall on you. So you really want to get indoors, and if you can't get indoors, get inside a car with those grounded rubber tires.
No kidding. Derek Shore live for us in Midtown Sacramento with great advice. Derek, thank you. Sam?
Let's get to traffic right now, Christine. It's very slow going. Interstate 80 closed to traffic between Kingvale and Truckee tonight. Caltrans made that decision. They had several spinouts because of the snow in that region. Here's some traffic for you in the valley. It's not a whole lot better, but you can see here the green areas are good to go. Yellow a little bit slower. The red sections here in this map, specifically near downtown Sacramento, are very slow at this time. And let's head out to CBS 13 photojournalist James Taylor. He's out in the thick of it tonight. How's it going, James?
Well, here's a live look at eastbound I-80 just approaching Madison. And Sam, you're absolutely right. The downtown traffic is still very bad. But once you make it out of the downtown areas, you can see traffic is moving. It's slower than usual, but still very wet roadways out here. And the rain has really started to pick up within the last half hour. Also, about a half hour ago, there was a significant power outage near Howe and Arden Way. That knocked out the power to about 400 customers and caused a traffic mess. A lot of cars not knowing what to do. But once again, when those traffic lights go out, remember the intersection becomes a four-way stop. Once again, traffic is moving out here, but still very heavy in the downtown area. It's going to take you a lot of extra time to get home tonight.
All right, James, thank you very much. Live out on the roadways, you can stay informed throughout this storm using the CBS 13 weather app. We have live radar, up-to-date alerts, and you can watch our latest weathercasts if you go ahead and download that.
And the app is available through the iTunes and Android markets. To learn more, just head to our website, CBS13.com.
On the news for you tonight, the nationwide measles outbreak is putting Placer County on edge. Now parents there are being told they may need to keep their unvaccinated kids home from school.
In the letter, we did let parents know that that's a possibility.
A letter was sent to parents in the county from the Placer County health officer.
So we wanted to know, how will the county prevent an unvaccinated student from attending class? CBS 13's Ron Jones is in Rockland getting answers.
And we're also learning that a dozen possible measles cases were investigated right here in Placer County.
We know that it's very contagious, can spread very quickly.
Dr. Robert Oldham is Placer County's public health officer.
There's a number of suspect cases that we've investigated just in the last week or so.
A dozen to be exact. 9 of the tests came back negative, but the results of the last 3 are still pending.
We're trying to be proactive and getting information out to parents.
So health officials sent out this letter to parents of students asking them to get their children vaccinated and warned if your child has not received at least 1 dose of MMR and is exposed to measles, he or she may be excluded from attending school or child care to prevent further spread of disease.
It's a statewide outbreak now.
But we wanted to know from health officials, how will the county prevent unvaccinated children from attending class?
At this point, there's really no reason for that. Certainly the public health officer in each county has the authority to exclude children from school in the event of an outbreak in a school. We don't have any confirmed cases in Placer County, so that would be premature.
Now, today, the California State Superintendent also weighed in on the vaccination debate. In a statement, he urged parents to get their children vaccinated.
Preschool vaccination may become law. Senator Barbara Boxer and a California congresswoman will propose legislation next week requiring children to be enrolled if they enroll in Head Start. It allows parents to opt out of vaccinations only if a doctor signs off saying a medical condition prevents it. If passed, parents will have 3 months to get their kids vaccinated. Meanwhile, the UC system will now require vaccinations for all of their students by 2017. The 10 schools will take steps over the next few years to meet the standard. This year, the focus will be building awareness. By fall of 2016, all incoming UC students will be expected to have their required vaccinations. And in the fall of 2017, students who do not meet the standards will have to have a hold put on their registration.
Former Vice President Al Gore made an appearance in West Sacramento today. Gore was here to talk to the California State Teachers Retirement System about transitioning to a low-carbon economy. Many members of CalSTRS have already urged the system to make the switch from from fossil fuels to low carbon. And the president will make a stop in the Bay Area next week to talk about cybersecurity. He's attending a summit at Stanford. Now, this comes after Anthem, the nation's second largest health insurer, was hacked. Last year, the FBI warned Anthem and thousands of other healthcare companies they were vulnerable to an attack. In 2014, hackers hit 42 health providers compared to just 5 in 2010. And speaking of Anthem, some of the company's Blue Cross members trying to put fraud alerts on their credit report, and they're having a tough time doing so.
We call on Curtis Ming now with the issues that customers are facing after what could be the largest hacking of its kind.
Well, you know, somebody in our newsroom tried to put a fraud alert on their Equifax credit report. That's one of the 3 major credit bureaus. And this is what he saw this morning. A warning saying our fraud alert system is currently unavailable. Well, Equifax says it's unaware of any issues, and it seems to be working fine at last check. Anthem says it will offer credit monitoring to the up to 80 million people affected, but it could be a couple weeks before that's all set up. It's why some want to get those fraud alerts in place now. This guy knows firsthand what it's like to deal with ID theft after the community health system's hack last year. He says scammers racked up $40,000 in credit card debt in his name.
There was a period of time when every couple days a credit card would have to be changed because they had figured out my password.
A 2014 survey of healthcare technology professionals found half spent 3% or less of their technology budgets on cybersecurity, and experts tell CBS the standard is 10%, so the industry is falling short. Now, in this attack, hackers access names, birth dates, social security numbers, and addresses. And what makes this scary, most of this information you can't change. So unless our financial system changes, hackers can steal the identities of the folks here with the Anthem case for years to come.
You know, I mentioned this last night. You look at Target, you look at Home Depot, now you have Anthem. As a customer, you don't know what to believe anymore.
Right.
You can't trust them. So any idea who might be responsible here?
You know, it's really early, but there are several reports out today pointing the finger at China. Not confirmed. China immediately lashed back saying, hey, don't point the finger at us. It's really early, and we got to wait and see. And we may never really know exactly
and
who's
we've
behind this
heard
attack.
that before as well. We don't know who did it.
It's tough to figure out where these people are. They're very sophisticated.
Okay.
All right, we've got more to come here at 5. More problems with TurboTax, why the tax-preparing software company stopped filing state taxes this week.
We are, of course, keeping an eye on the storm all throughout this newscast and all evening long. Atmospheric river is moving right through the region.
And we're getting answers about the best way to use sandbags to prevent flooding. Our storm coverage continues.